You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well. That sucked a lot. An extremely disappointing way to lose, but there was plenty to be happy about until the bottom of the ninth and the bottom of the eighth. I guess it could have been worse. Could have been last night. Welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. I am Pete Fox. You can listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. We appreciate you being an everydayer, checking us out every day to follow your team, the Dodgers. During the week, you make Jeff and Vince your first listen. On the weekends, you make me your first listen. And I appreciate you for doing that. 7-6 walked off tonight. Blake Treinen left the door open. The bullpen, I don't necessarily want to put it all on him. I mean, he was the one that gave up the game-winning home run to the Astros. Bregman, I believe it was one pitch and it was over. I was sitting there not completely prepared for the postcast because I figured we'd be going to extras, but no. Bregman says, I don't think so. How many pitches did Bregman take to hit that ball out? I think it felt like it was the first one. I'm like, oh, damn, I got to go. Second pitch, sinker, 94 miles an hour, up and away, and Bregman yanked it. I'm sorry, up and in. Yeah, that's Bregman's zone. Like, hello, stay away from there. Don't throw balls to Bregman there. But he took advantage of it and got the Astros the come from behind win. The biggest disappointment here really in this game is that Wrobleski was very good. Like, very good. Like, that guy is the real deal. And then you pull him and you bring in, who was it? Evan Phillips, who just absolutely wet the bed. So for those of you that bring the fire Dave Roberts, Nando, I was surprised that it took you that long to get there, Nando. You were the 4th guy in. Fire Dave Roberts. I was like, Nando has a point today. That was a terrible call. And then you leave him in. I don't know that Andrew Friedman is going to wake up. I do know that this game hopefully is a wake-up call for the Dodgers. I feel like yesterday was to a certain extent. Roy, I won't say that we have a good bullpen today, I promise. Don't want to hear it, he says. He's mad. I think you guys are as mad today as I was yesterday. I love that about you. I love that. This is a freaking frack, the give and take of our relationship here. I felt good about this game. I'm a little pissed that we lost, but there is a lot to feel good about. I felt like they heard me yelling and screaming yesterday. They came out with aggression. They came out with a desire to win. They came out with a focus and plate awareness, hitting balls, good pitches, working the count, putting the ball in play. Shohei Ohtani, a great game, not trying to hit home runs every single time. Did I read the sponsor yet? I did not. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Supply House. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast. SupplyHouse.com. Yeah, Hudson had no command. Evan Phillips had no command. Let me back up just a second. Evan Phillips had decent command. The problem with Evan Phillips today was he threw that sweeper that landed on the outside corner, ripped for a base hit. The next batter up, the exact same pitch in the exact same place, ripped for a base hit. All right, not going to do it again. No, yeah, he is. Third time. I think he gave up 4 hits, right? But they were all right in the exact same place. So he had good command. The problem was the scouting for the Astros was just better. Phillips, 4 hits. Yeah. All in the exact same place. The sweeper on the outside half. Daniel Berry, Fire Roberts, followed by We Suck. Oh, look, let's be honest. Let's not overlook the fact that Dodgers are missing some key players. You know, the good news is Shohei Ohtani continues to produce. I feel like he is becoming a more complete hitter. Joe and Orel felt like he is a stat stuffer. Okay. In baseball, that's fine, right? That's not like basketball where you're like trying to get rebounds that don't matter. In baseball, stat stuffing when you're only playing offense is absolutely fine. BC. When they finally fire Roberts after 5 or 6 straight NLDS losses, they will probably hire someone worse. Which is one of the reasons that they don't fire him, I guess. I don't know. That's one of the questions that you always have to ask when you are asking for someone's removal as far as a coach or a manager. When you're saying fire this guy, like who's a better replacement? I don't know. The bottom line with the Dodgers and with regard to the managers and the managers' decisions, it all comes down to Friedman, right? And the people that work under Friedman. I don't even know the Dodgers general manager's name. That's how much he doesn't matter to the Dodgers. The fact is that Friedman makes all the decisions. Dave Roberts is allowed to make decisions here or there. And I don't know that Friedman said, hey, leave Evan Phillips in there or put Evan Phillips in the game or pull Wrobleski, even though he's rolling. Like none of that is probably on Friedman's head. But the fact is that when they get to the postseason, it is. And that's where they fail. So you again, I've said this over and over during the regular season. You can't let Dave Roberts go out there and make decisions with his eyes and his heart in the regular season and then hamstring him in the postseason and say, you can't do anything. We are going by the stats and the analytics in the postseason. You got to be consistent throughout, right? Whatever you do, this is standard for sports, not just baseball. Golf is a perfect example. Whatever you do in practice, you have to do in the round. When a guy is, they have a pre-shot routine and they go up to the ball and they get distracted by something, what do? All of them. They step back, they put the club back in the bag, and they start it over because they want the same routine every single time. Batters do the same thing. They get distracted somehow, something where they step out, they restart their routine. You can't have one routine in the regular season and a different one in the postseason. And that's what it feels like the Dodgers are doing right now. They're just kind of playing, going through the motions, and it's not working. They're terrible on the road. 8 of their last 9, 9 of their last 11 in the L column. Padres are coming. Nobody seems to care, right? No, that's fine. Whatever. It's the Padres. I know you guys are all going, it's the Padres. It's the Padres. Really? Are we worried about the Padres? Yeah, should be. They've won 7 in a row, back to back against the Orioles, who are one of the best teams in baseball. So the Padres are playing some good ball right now. There are the 5 back. Is it 6? Whatever it is, it's too freaking close. 5.5 back. They're right there. Guess where the Dodgers go right after this series? San Diego. Whale's vagina. That's right. It's only a 2-game series. So, they live. If the Padres win tomorrow and the Dodgers lose, then it's 4.5. Then the Padres beat the Dodgers in that 2-game series. Then it's down to 2.5. Does that feel good? Does that feel like the Dodgers are rolling, playing good baseball, trying to win? Does not. I will tell you, it does not. Fire the bullpen. Daniel just wants to fire everybody. Just rebuild this team. Roberts and a horrible decision to pull Rowe. I agree with that. There two again. My feeling on. Ooh, pitch count. He's a young starter. We can't let him throw 70 pitches. No, we got to pull him out of the game. Nobody can hit him. And here's the amazing thing about Robo. I'll tell you after the break. He did something amazing today. And aside from his stat line, he was freaking awesome. I mean, just really good. And in a very, very surprising way. This is the Locked On Dodgers Postcast. I am Pete Fox on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast brought to you by our friends at Booking.com. Yeah, with summer travel heating up, red hot, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those cities you have always secretly wanted to learn a little bit more about. Yes, we're talking about your rival city. I still have no desire to go to Houston, but I do feel like they're a rival. I like Austin better than Houston. So I've even heard Dallas is amazing. But there's definitely lots to see in Texas. And a lot of people like Houston. They say it's a fun city. My wife went there once for a work trip. Didn't enjoy it really all that much, but loved Dallas and loved Austin. Unfortunately, we don't have any rivals in those cities. I don't think the Rangers are a Dodgers rival, but the Astros sure are. So maybe we should explore Houston a little bit more with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com. You might just find your perfect stay even in your rival's city. From hotels that overlook the stadium like Petco in San Diego, that's a rival for sure, to family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this Major League Baseball season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. Tonight's show also brought to you by Supply House. Supplyhouse.com is where you find what they have. Get supplies from the site that is made for skilled trade. Supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. HVAC, by the way, is heating, ventilation, and AC. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of 200,000 parts and over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros and skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining Supplyhouse.com's free Trade Masters program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at Supplyhouse.com TM and order plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies from anywhere in the U.S. with just a few clicks at Supplyhouse.com. All right, Dodgers are walked off by the Astros after leading 5-0. The bullpen faltered. And no, I will not say the bullpen has been okay, has been good. Not of late. They sure have not. Again, we said this yesterday that they seem to switch places. Starters are good, bullpen's bad. Bullpen's good, starters are bad. But they got a lot of guys banged up still. So there is hope. There's a lot to be hopeful about in this game. It's a loss, and after leading 5-0, you never want to see a loss, but you look at what Wrobleski did. Robo had a great game, third or fourth start as a major leaguer, 5 2/3, probably could have got out of it, but got into a little jam, and Roberts panicked and pulled him and brought in Evan Phillips, who absolutely just left the barn door wide open, and everyone got out. He went 5 2/3, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits with just 2 Ks. He had it on a breaking ball and a 4-seamer. But here's the thing. Robo was working with just the fastball today, pretty much exclusively. Occasionally he'd throw a slider or a changeup, but he was dotting the corners with the fastball. When you have that kind of command over that one pitch, I mean, look at Daniel Hudson. If you want to compare having just one pitch and how hard that is, Daniel Hudson could only get the fastball over, and it was on the right-handers on the inside. He couldn't even work the outside half of the plate at all. And he was hamstrung. He was completely helpless. You could see it on his face. He was like, OS, I got nothing out here, right? I can only throw a fastball over the zone. And that was it. And you could feel like it didn't help that Orel was calling him out. But the fact was, it was true. I mean, it seemed like he had no clue how to throw another pitch. The command was just not there, except for the fastball, and the Astros were just sitting there waiting. All right, I know at some point you're going to throw me one over the plate, and he gave up 4 hits they were consecutive, knocks. Was it 4 or was it 3? Hudson 3 hits. Sorry. Yeah, but they were feasting on him just like they were on Evan Phillips. Fortunately, Banda came in and did a nice job after Evan Phillips. And then, as far as the offense for the Dodgers, a lot to feel good about today. Cavan Biggio, of course, hitting a home run in the 8th to give them a 2-run lead. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be enough because of Hudson's performance and then Blake Treinen behind him. But yeah, the fact that Wrobleski threw 82 pitches and they're like, oh, we got to pull him out. It's going to ruin his career if he throws 92. Is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. I don't get it. I never will. And they're going to continue to do it. I don't know how you ever change that. It's just one of these things that they're just married to that right now. I mean, it's at some point they probably will move away from that stat because it's ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. And again, I'm not saying let him throw 130, but 92, even 100, like it's fine. Relax. So what does Frank have to say? Frank's a new viewer. Orioles have been struggling of late, 4 of 6 in their last 10. Okay. Yeah. They're still a good team though, right, Frank? I mean, yeah, I don't follow the Orioles, but they're still a good team. Rude Dog. And a lot of new people today in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We just need to weather the storm. Our bullpen is spent, obviously, and injuries have decimated us. We can panic, though, if Andrew sits on his hands this deadline. So if they don't make any moves, Rude Dog is saying, then it's time to panic. I would agree with that. I feel like that would be one of the more surprising things that we've seen in this Major League Baseball season. If they don't make a change or an addition, rather, make a deal at the deadline, which is 30th, 31st next week. That would be flabbergasting. They would be really, really on my S list if they don't make any sort of deals to acquire a pitcher, specifically a starter. Jules blames Joe Kelly. Why is it Joe Kelly's fault for making the pouty lip back in the day at Springer in 2017 or whatever? They went into that whole thing today, and that was a great moment. Really, it was. The Dodgers and the Dodger fans grew to love Joe Kelly after that. When he made the pouty face to Springer. And I really have never liked Springer before that or since then. He's just kind of a whiny little, I'm glad he's not on this team anymore, so we don't have to see him as much. And it seems like he kind of fit in with this Astros team being, they were kind of like that. They've always, since they've become good the last 7-8 years, they've kind of been the bad boys on the block. Lots of attitude, easy to hate, like the Twins. You're like, all right, I don't really hate the Twins. They're fine. They're a good team most of the time. They're not great. You don't love them. You don't hate them. You're just okay with them. But yeah, since then we've all loved Joe Kelly. I don't know how it's Joe Kelly's fault on this one, but yeah, look, the bullpen is definitely to blame here. The Dodgers did more than enough offensively, and let's get to that on the Diamond Dogs list, because I almost ran out of paper today on the Diamond Dogs list. I'm like, wait, we need more paper. For number 5, in the second, Cavan Biggio, a 2-out RBI. It was a triple, but they called it a double. Went down the right field line. It scored Kike, who had walked. It made it 1-0. One of the other things I loved about this game, it wasn't like the Dodgers just had one good frame. They strung it out, one here, one there. So they had multiple innings where they had things going and took advantage of it. So they were able to be aggressive at the plate and be productive at the plate, and that was great to see. For number 4, Shohei Ohtani, who had a great game, home run number 32, an absolute moonshot, no doubter to right field, just launched 442 feet. His second hardest hit ball of the season at 118 miles an hour. It was a 2-1 fastball. He made it 2-0. And the great thing about it was he wasn't flying open. He got started early, got the front foot down, and bam, ripped it. For number 3, a defensive play from James Outman, because he's absolutely terrible at the plate. Awful. But he still can play defense. He did make contact today, which is saying something for James Outman, but 0 for 4, only 2 Ks, hit one into the left center field area. for a fly out, but his plate appearances are just, there's just, I don't know. I mean, he's late. He can't find a rhythm at all. That's why I was completely surprised yesterday to find out that he was back on the big squad, the big league team, because I've heard that there are rumors that they're trying to put him in a package to acquire Garrett Crochet from the White Sox, but who knows? But he made a great catch up against the wall in the fourth on a ball hit by Diaz. That was a fantastic play. For number 2, Gavin Lux, an RBI single in the fifth. It made it 3-0. Then right after that, Teo, 2A, got jammed, fought it off, and had an RBI single there. That I love to see because he was up there trying to put the ball in play, trying to make things happen, and that's awesome. That made it 4-0. It was a really nice job of hitting. And then for number 1, Shohei Ohtani, RBI single in the sixth. First pitch swinging. Again, same kind of thing, putting the ball in play, not trying to hit home runs, just trying to make things happen. Went the other way. Also something you don't see a lot of from Shohei Ohtani, always trying to pull the ball, but that made it 5-0. And then the bullpen left the barn door open, wetting the bed, and the Astros got back into it 5-4. And then Cavan Biggio just launched one into right field. That was nice to see because his dad was there, and he's got the tie to Houston. I was surprised to hear that Craig Biggio went into the Hall of Fame in 2015, which means he's been out of the league since like 2010? He looks like he could still play. I was like, what is that? I mean, that guy hasn't aged a bit. So it was nice to see that he hit home run in front of the Houston fans. They've seen him since he was a little kid. It was nice to see that his dad was there for that. His first home run as a Dodger, and really a good day, I guess, for Craig Biggio. His kid had a couple of hits, including a home run. But in the end, the Astros won. 370-foot home run. It came on a 2-2 four-seam fastball, and it made it 6-4. And Biggio also had a very nice defensive play there that seemed to be meaningful in the eighth, but ultimately it wouldn't matter. Dodgers lose 7-6, walked off by a Bregman home run in the bottom of the ninth. Second pitch against Blake Treinen, and that would be it in the bottom of the ninth. Astros win it, and they've won this series against the Dodgers after taking the first two. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. We thank you, everydayers, for making us your first listen here on the weekends, and you make Jeff and Vince your first listen during the week, and then I will be the second listen. So we will take the break, come back and wrap this up, and hope that tomorrow's a better day. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. All right, tonight's show here, the Locked On Dodgers postcast, brought to you by Prize Picks. I had a little prize pick working. I don't know what happened with it. I went ahead and levied some selections on the Olympics, and the answer to the question I brought up yesterday was, I don't know if you can wager on the Olympics. You absolutely can. So I had a two-team projection on two-player projection on some tennis, which I believe is like underway right now. So get in the action there. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS is just you against the numbers. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 players and their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. They got great customer service over there too. They said there's something weird going on with the app here in California, which it is legal to bet or wager or stat project on Prize Picks here in California, along with Georgia and Texas. A lot of states that don't allow wagering, you can use Prize Picks in, but it was saying it's not allowed in your area. So I got on the chat with them, and they were super helpful. And they were like, yeah, there's a glitch in the app, but if you go on the web and just prizepicks.com, you can, make your stat projection there. So I did that and it worked. So I don't know how it came out. It's probably not happening yet. It probably will be tomorrow. Because Paris is 8 hours ahead of us, but they have cool promotions going on at Prize Picks, like lowering your stat projections on Tuesdays, and entry fees can be returned if you lose on Fridays. They also have quick deposits and easy withdrawals. My initial deposit was super painless and hassle-free. And with prizepicks.com, if you use the code LOCKEDONMLB for your first deposit, they will match it up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/LOCKEDONMLB and get a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. Prize Picks. It is that easy. So the Dodgers lose now 62-44, 7-6 the final, walked off by the Astros. Bregman a home run in the bottom of the ninth. They're now 55-49 and red hot coming out of the break. As I mentioned, 47. I didn't mention this actually. I'm mentioning it now. We've talked a lot about the Dodger rookie pitchers being pretty good of late, and they've had 47 starts this season as rookies for the Dodgers. 47. That's a lot. Second most in Major League Baseball, and it seems to be going okay. So the fact that Yamamoto is out, Kershaw's coming back from injury, Tyler Glasnow is coming back from injury. They're trying to find their footing as with the starting pitching. The bullpen, as you guys have mentioned multiple times, is definitely overworked, dealing with a lack of a closer. Maybe that's who they find at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline as a closer, because without Evan Phillips being capable and being a complete nail biter when he gets in there, Daniel Hudson's been very good. I think Joe and Oral jinxed him today, saying he's allowed 1 run in all of July or no runs, something like that. And of course, then he gave up 2. So a closer is definitely on the agenda as far as a need. Honeywell, I don't know, maybe. I was thinking they might go to him in the 9th. Probably would have been better than Blake Treinen. But the fact is that, they are definitely stressed. They're definitely overworked. And, the Dodgers are not doing them a ton of favors night to night. Tonight, offensively, I thought there was plenty to be happy about. Ohtani had a good night. Will Smith continuing to struggle. 0 for 13 coming into this game. Now 0 for 18 after an 0 for 5 tonight with 3 Ks. And in one of those Ks, I was just embarrassed to see him look so bad, because Will Smith, I've said time and time again, is one of the better hitters on the Dodgers. And he just looks awful right now. Gavin Lux, though, continuing to swing a hot bat. 1 for 3 tonight, batting average at .236. Teoscar 1 for 5. Jay got a couple of bats. He was 0 for. James Outman 0 for 4. He's 0 for his last 16 with 2 more Ks. So that would be 10 Ks. 10 of his last 16 at bats have been strikeouts, although he did get robbed in his first at bat on a really bad call outside of the strike zone. Robot umpires. When are we going to get them? Kike had a really nice at bat in his second at bat. He walked 3 times tonight. He was up there battling 9 pitches. I love that when they get up there and work the count and make the pitcher work and get them deeper into their pitch count. So Kike, a really nice job tonight, even though he didn't have a base hit. He was 0 for 1, but he walked 3 times. So that was good to see. And Cavan Biggio, 2 for 3, got the average up over 200. Nick Ahmed, a hit and a run scored. So all in all, offensively, it was pretty good. And the bullpen at times was okay. They dealt with Alvarez again, 1 for 4 with no RBI. There was an at-bat on the 6th. It was a middle fastball. I guess they got lucky there. I don't remember who was pitching in the 6th, but middle fastball, and he flied out to left with 2 outs. So it was just before Evan Phillips came in and wet the bed. So, they did very well, or offensively. Defensively, it was, pitching wise, wasn't great. I'd give it a C, solid C. When Robo goes 5 2/3, what'd they say? Off the fastball, the league is 5 for 34 against him. And of course, Joe and Oral jinxed him again because right before he gave up those last 2 hits in the 6th, it was 3 for 32. Was that stat, the league against him off of the fastball. Then they proceeded to get a couple of base hits, and then he got pulled. Evan Phillips came in, and that was pretty much the beginning of the end. And I think really from a frustration standpoint, I think we kind of all saw that coming. We were all screaming, why are you pulling this guy? Why? Right? It didn't make a lot of sense right there. He did give up a couple, but those were because of Evan Phillips hits. Robo didn't give them up. He got those guys on base. That's got to be a terrible feeling. I hate that rule about baseball. I really do. So, Robo gave up the hit. They get on base, and then Phillips comes in, gives up 2 more hits, and they're charged to Wrobleski. I know it's as old as time, and that's how they score baseball, but I just hate that rule. It just doesn't seem fair. I didn't do it. I didn't score those guys. Phillips did. They should at least share in it, like half. Each person gets charged half a run. So in the end, the Dodgers had a lot to feel good about in this game. Wrobleski, starting pitching, very good. And the offense was there. It just wasn't there enough. And you really probably needed to score 10 in this game to win. But even then, you just don't know. The Astros just keep coming. They are a gritty team and they're playing well right now. 12 hits in this one for the Astros. Dodgers had 7 and they lose 7-6. All right. I will be off tomorrow, but back with you guys on Tuesday against the Padres in San Diego at Petco for a 2-game series. So you don't have to listen to me whine about too many strikeouts and things of that nature. So tomorrow you're on your own. Craig, you can host a little chat room and be in charge of the whole thing. But I will not be here to run the chat and do the postcast. I apologize for that, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. I am off tomorrow, heading to Phoenix to watch some Diamondbacks baseball, doing some scouting and some golfing. So anyway, today was good. Could have been worse. The loss was not what we were looking for, not what we needed, but there was plenty to feel positive about in this 7-6 loss. Trying to find the silver lining. I hope you can appreciate that. I'm Pete Fox. Thanks again for joining me here. It's the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. You can also download us wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will talk on Tuesday.